Well, here it is, our finished meal. That's what we just made. It took us a bit over an hour and a half, but we also spent a lot of time talking. Probably it even took 2 hours, but again, we spent a lot of time talking. Raw food can be very fast if you have all the ingredients and already know how to put things together. So you have a very gourmet meal with 4 different dishes prepared in an hour and a half, and or even faster. So here we have mashed potatoes made out of celery root, also called celeriac, parsnips, a half avocado, and walnuts, and some orange juice, and a half pear or a little less, a piece of pear for the sweetness, and then salt and a little cumin. I didn't put any other spices in there other than a tiny touch of nutmeg because I want it to be the base that on which the other flavors that are stronger flavors are tasted. It's sort of like mashed potatoes can be sort of the base on which you experience the more intense flavors of the other dishes. Here we have a big dish of gravy, and it is thick like that. It is very rich. Of course, this is gravy that could be eaten like food, but it's too spicy and salty to be eaten like a soup. If you made it a little milder, it could be a soup or like a gazpacho. But it is also very smoky. So it has that meat-based flavor. Of course, there's no animal product in there. And that has the most ingredients. It has as many ingredients and more than our veggie burger bites, which, by the way, we also have. We could also add to a dish like this, to a meal like this. Here we have a base of vegetables that are bell pepper, tomatoes, sun-dried tomatoes, very important. Tiny bit of celery stalk, and then raisins and a little bit of sunflower seeds to give it that fattiness, nuttiness, and spices, chipotle, cumin. Did we put pepper in here? No, we didn't put pepper in here, but the chipotle is quite spicy, so that works. Salt, obviously. The sun-dried tomatoes were also a little salty, and I'd honestly have to now look in my, of course, onion and garlic, both go in there. Little pieces. Watch out that you don't overwhelm everything else with those. A tiny touch of olive oil just for the flavor again. And there it is. So decorated here with red pepper. It's a very, very veggie sauce. You can vary those vegetables, but what ultimately gives it the flavor are the spices and the smoked salt. So in this case, we used hickory smoked salt that has a very rich, old-style hot dog flavor, because hot dogs only taste like hot dogs because of this hickory smoked salt. Also pastrami, for example, has that same flavoring. Here we have the meatballs. This is the simplest dish. And kids love to make it because you roll it in your hands and it just feels great. And it's very simple and very fast. Kids will be impatient anyway if you have to fix lots of different ingredients and have a long processing process. So here we only have walnuts, garlic, salt. That's it. And they go into either the Vitamix or into a food processor and get ground, not too long, because if you grind walnuts for too long, they separate into oil and a sort of gooey, dark rubbery mass that you don't want to, and you can't eat, and you can never bring that back together. It cannot be dissolved in water or any other. It cannot be redissolved in its own fat either. So you don't want to grind walnuts for too long, just so that you still have a little bit of texture in there, and you roll up these nut balls. Don't put water in there, because then you won't be able to roll them like we did in our hands because of the fattiness. The fattiness allows the ball to stay away from our skin and not get stuck, so it doesn't get sticky. All right, those are the meatballs. They also go great on zoodles with tomato sauce. And last but not least, we have a wonderful gourmet avocado salad. And contrary to popular belief, avocado is very versatile. And of course, as a chef or interested in chefing, you will know that in cooking or uncooking exquisite gourmet food, you will know that sometimes it's the surprise mixes that make for the extraordinary flavors. So what's surprising in this is it's basically a guacamole mix of avocado, tomato, little red pepper, and cilantro and garlic, with olive oil and lemon juice and salt and black pepper. But we put something else in there to give it a tiny sweet touch, and that is a piece of pear, finely chopped. And it gives it that, and a little bit of cumin powder, so that it goes a little bit more in the direction of exotic and just incredibly delicious. You can just eat that whole bowl as a meal too if you wanted to. And the four of these go great together, I find, and we'll make a plate right now. Can we do that? We'll make a plate with all four elements, and that would be a plate that you could serve in a restaurant. I made very exquisite gourmet raw food dinners as Johanna's Raw Foods, my company, for a high-end restaurant that unfortunately doesn't exist anymore, because it the owner still has a very fabulous catering company, Lily and the Rose. Nothing to do with raw food, but she loves raw foods, and she always wanted me to add this to her business. So I made these raw food dinners for the restaurant, a couple of other restaurants also occasionally. And this is something that I would serve as a main meal, maybe with an appetizer before and a dessert after, but it is so filling, you really cannot eat much. And I'm just going to show you the portions that will be more than satisfying for even the hungriest muscle man. And we'll put quite a bit of this exquisite spicy sauce over the mashed potatoes. We add a meatball or two. And we add I should not do this with my hand, of course, if I'm doing professional food. And we add the colorful stuff kind of central, as opposed to, on traditional restaurant plates, the green stuff just serves as the decorative exterior. So this should be a main part of the meal. And there it is. You have your plate. Now, once you've eaten this, you will be so full and so satisfied that it is probably hard to take seconds. If you can eat seconds, you definitely won't be able to eat your dessert. But we'll make the dessert next time. I have some fabulous chocolate cake that I can show you. All right, without agave. Okay. All right. Bye. That's our meal for today. Mashed potatoes, meatballs, gravy, and avocado salad.